Wisha, somebody believes that whatever happens, you must not let the NLC get a deal of 494,000 minimum wage. It is going to destroy many other things worse than the subsidy removal. His argument is recorded and he shared that online. Listen, I want you to possibly react to this just like how you think Nigerians actually really understands economy and the rest of that, okay? I don't want you to see this as usual. This one now worry because anyway, I can't control how you are going to react. But somebody believes, and he put forward this point, said 494,000 will increase the food prices. It will increase this, it will increase that, because everybody will begin to demand for a better pay. You know, like, so you must never let NLC get the minimum wage. Now, wahala. Listen.
Nobody should allow federal government to make new minimum wage 400 and something thousand. A lot of you are so excited about it, but you're not even thinking how small business owners and private individuals are going to cope. For example, I own a bakery. For me to be able to pay the least of my staff 495,000, it means I have to be profitable. And for me to be profitable, I can't be selling my loaf of bread 1,000 naira anymore. I have to start selling one loaf of bread for maybe 50,000 naira. Those of you that maybe your daddy works in a transport company as a driver, presently maybe he earns 150,000 naira per month. The minimum wage right now is 30,000. So your dad earns times 5, because 30,000 times 5 is 150,000. So if the new minimum wage becomes 495,000, you have to check 495,000 times 5, because your dad still has to earn times 5 of it, and that will be like 2.something million. But I can tell you that your family will be happy, but that money you won't even be able to use it to do anything reasonable, because the 2 million naira will definitely look like 150,000 naira. Transport companies, the government that is going to give them money to pay their salary, to pay their workers. So they have to increase the price of their products and services for them to be profitable. If you want to travel from Benin to Lagos, don't think that you are going to go there with 30,000 naira. You have to go there with nothing less than 200,000 naira. Even a bike man will charge you 20,000 naira for you to move from one point to another, because everything will definitely have to go up. How are small business owners going to pay their staffs 400 and some thousand? They have to be able to increase the price of things. Are some of you even thinking, this was how a lot of you were so excited when they started to remove fuel subsidy? You say that government are the ones eating your money, let them remove it. Okay, now that they have removed fuel subsidy, how are things? How are things? Life is still very difficult. And you've forgotten that fuel subsidy is the only thing Nigerians enjoy. Okay, federal government have health care. How many of us do go to public hospitals? How many of us do go to government schools? But fuel is something that everybody benefits from, no matter who you are. Even a newborn child. Farmers need fuel to transport their farm products. Transport companies rely on fuel. Everything literally relies on fuel. So when you remove fuel subsidy, life became difficult. Fuel that was 100 and something naira is now almost 800 naira. So you think that if they put a new minimum wage 500,000 naira, 490 something thousand naira, that things will become better? Some of you that even so are excited about it, you will even be the first to even lose your job where you were, because some of you are not so valuable. Some companies are not so profitable, but they still have to pay their staff, hoping that the economy will get better and someday they'll make profit. So if they have to now make it 400 and something thousand naira, how are they going to pay their staff? Some business owners want to even do the job themselves. They have to sack a lot of people, and crime is going to increase. Right now, what I'm trying to say is that I understand they are going to negotiate it. Maybe somewhere along the line it's going to fall between maybe 100,000 or 70,000 naira. But things will still go up. That's just the truth. Because people have to increase the prices of their products and services to be able to afford to pay their this thing. Even government people that pay their domestic staff, it is our taxpayers' money they used to pay them. Some of you are saying, some people are concerned that private individuals, how will they pay their domestic staff? Some people are now saying, why would they employ domestic staff if you don't have money? The truth is that people will start investing in robots to perform these kinds of tasks, because they can't be able to. If 400,000 naira times 12 a year is almost 5 million. If you invest 5 million naira in getting yourself a robot, your house will be cleaned. It's even efficient. All you need to do is maintenance. That is where the direct, and those of you that are not so skilled, you lose your job. 2 years, you've never found employment. Crime will increase. If there's anything the federal government can do right now, is to subsidize the things that Nigerians use every day. One commodity that everybody benefit from is fuel. So as a poverty activist, I am, this is my comment. The federal government should please bring back subsidy. Because no matter how they increase the minimum wage, Nigerians will still suffer. Fresh subsidy is what brings us together. It's the only thing we all benefit from. Whether we are poor, successful, whether you are a ritualist, whether you are
He has no job. He has.
That's how people sound. What is his name again? Something Idu. That's his name. And that is how typical Nigerians sound. It is really sit down to actually put his thoughts down, look at it, or go over it again and again, and just tear the paper, say, Omo Abi Mumu, I can't do a video on this. Do you know that there are educated Nigerians that actually believe that the government in Nigeria can bring price of foods down by just going after? In fact, there are educated Nigerians who believe that the price of food or the price of goods going up, though government is doing its own, they can't tell you what government is really doing, but they'll say government is doing its own, but our people said they are bad. Fuel subsidy is also affecting the woman that is doing gari. $10 they affect that woman when they sell tomato. Let us tell ourselves the truth. That's how educated Nigerians, that's how they argue. Very, very ignorantly proud and loud. $10 they cost government should go after them and make sure they bring the price down. Government should do everything to bring the price down. They have no idea that government will not buy anything for you to sell. In a supposed free economy, which Nigeria pretend to have. Free economy. Okay? Willing buyer, willing seller. A pseudo free economy. It simply means if I want to sell my own pen for 20 naira and somebody else wants to sell their own for 2 naira, which one would you choose? That's up to you. That's what the free economy is, right? Then this guy, what is his name again? I actually love to kind of call his name, by the way. So Nigeria want to act like it is a capitalist. No, sorry, the government of Nigeria want to, they are presenting a kind of capitalist society in a poor country like Nigeria, and at the same time they want to also act as socialists, or the government that cares about the poor, right? So a typical Nigerian believe that Tinubu is not paying subsidy right now. When you tell them that if $1 is being exchanged for over nearly 1,500 naira to $1 now, and Nigeria is importing over 80% of our own domestic fuel consumption. That simply means if you compare the price, the actual landing cost per liter normally should be 1,700 naira per liter. Then if they had their own money, you should be buying a liter of petrol in Nigeria right now. The cheapest should be 1,750 naira per liter. That's the cheapest. Tinubu announced that he's removed subsidies, so that was why your fuel gone up. But we keep telling you that you are not just only paying for subsidy, they are now paying like more than double of what they were paying before they told you they removed it. But educated ones in Nigeria still believe. Now because they remove subsidy, that's why everything is hard. An educated Nigeria doesn't understand the economy enough to know that if you your country is suffering, struggling, okay? The former government and former rogues have looted the treasury. So they've taken all the forex. You need more. You actually need to amass a lot of that forex. So the first thing you should do is to stop buying imported cars, imported this, imported that with government's money. You will lead by example. By so doing, you cut down the what? The demand on those forex. But you are not telling those people in Nigeria that you need not naira to buy those automobiles that they are budgeting over 2 trillion naira to buy in 2024 alone. They are not going to use that 2 trillion. They're going to convert it to dollars in order to go and buy them and bring them. That's stress on your own, this, right? So you lead by example. That money they are borrowing to defend the naira, you don't defend the naira. Reinvest it in that your own economy. Give the money to the critical sector of your economy to use. Give them a year, they will pay that back, more than that back. And then this, these businesses, the salary of their staff is not why the prices of goods will go up. They will kind of say that easily. Oh, minimum wage is for 500,000. That is why the packet of Indomie is going to go up. No. Companies are folding up in Nigeria because of the cost of production, multi-taxation. All of this, including import duty that they have increased more than 7 times in the last 1 year alone. All because they are looking for money. Who pays for all of that? The end user. You have a bakery, and in that bakery, you are spending the increased electricity tariff. The same bakery that you normally, okay, minimum wage is 30,000. You have no chance of growing because the entire system is rigged against you and your business, right? So you have a bakery, and in that bakery, you have 4 staff. Those 4 staff, based on the minimum wage and their skill, you are paying them 100,000 naira. That was when, the dollar to naira or naira to dollar was 150 naira to $1. You could afford to receive the supply of your flours, the ingredients you needed. The cost of electricity was not too much. It wasn't even this bad. Which means, right, even though you are spending money on maybe generators, alternative electricity, but you are not paying through your nose. Now, let's use figure now. You have 4 staff. They are collecting 100,000 naira each, including the driver. That is 400,000 naira for your staff every month, right? Then also, a bag of flour was sold for maybe 4,500 or 6,000 naira per bag, 50 kg bag, right? And regularly, you get all your supplies. On your supplies alone, you spend, let's say, 500,000 naira every month, okay? Conveniently, you get this huge truck. When they bring your supply, you have to also pay people to bring all those things in. 500,000 naira supply, 500,000 naira, 400,000 naira salary, 100,000 naira on alternative energy. On your electricity and generator. That's 1 million naira you are using to run your business. And you could easily go out there and sell a loaf of bread for 100 naira, 150 naira, and you will still pay your staff. You will still pay your taxes. You will still make profits. You could make more if the electricity is stable, right? But yeah, it's not. But yet, the exchange and all of, because the flour you are going to need, the manufacturer, the company producing them, is they either importing them or they are also spending through their noses to produce a bag. But nevertheless, they were still affordable. Your business could still bank on that. People who were earning 30,000 naira salary, they could walk to your bakery and even feed on bread. They could buy bread every day for 30 days. That was going to be, they could buy the bigger bread for their family every day for 30 days. That's still going to be 3,000 naira. 3,000 naira from their 30,000. They could buy a bag or half bag of rice for 3,500 naira when it was 7,000 naira a bag. They were earning 30,000. Abi? Then fast forward. You who is doing business, your staff, you have 4 staff. You are still paying them 100,000. From their own money, they too were able to pay their rent, the school fees of their children, and maybe even their own parents, their medical bills. From that 100,000, then APC happened. 9 years after that, your business, you can no longer pay 400,000 though. First, you have sacked two staff from your bakery because you cannot, even 100,000, you cannot pay anymore. The remaining two staff with you, you are only paying them 50,000. They do not have the skill. They do not have the experience. Those ones you were comfortably paying before, they had. Now you have new guys on a cheap salary in order to match. Those ones too, how for do? At least they are better off than the government workers earning 30,000, Abi. So with the 50,000, now here you are. Your 500,000 naira supply every month is now being brought in by Okada. You are now using Okada to do delivery of your flour. All of this because of the policies of the criminals in government. You can't pay anymore. Your bakery is suffering. And now somebody wants to gaslight you and say, you should not support the minimum wage of a 500,000 naira because remember, you will not be able to pay. Okay? And now, even though you have cut down the salary of those working for you, yet you are still unable to sell your bread cheaper. You can't. Your bread, the bread you were selling for 50 naira, 100 naira before. You are now selling them for 900 naira. Now, you know the problem. Those who were earning 30,000 naira then, they can't even afford to buy your bread anymore. So everyone is facing that because of the policies of the criminals who would rather use money to import cars or spend almost 10 billion naira traveling abroad. Papa now. So if somebody comes around and says, because everything will be expensive, because of salary, that's what Nigeria is. Ignorant, stupid, and loud. Unfortunately. However, that is why somebody like Wale Idun is their finance minister and coordinating minister. He just said that they are giving all of you 75,000 naira each to cushion the effect of high cost of living. These are the people that are going to give you new minimum wage. And these are the economists and the economic planners that are telling you, okay, that if Tinubu's reform and this and that, give it time. And some of you believe them. You are trusting them with your lives. You are trusting them with your businesses. Idun, Wale Idun, the Minister of Finance in Nigeria.
Clearly, the initial measures taken by Mr. President to stabilize the economy have led to an inflationary spike in terms of the cost of fuel, and secondly, in terms of the exchange rate, and also in terms of interest rates. The central bank defined as its core mandate to fight inflation, and the number one tool used for that is pushing up interest rates. In a nutshell, those were actions that were necessary, but that led to a spike in the cost of living for the ordinary Nigerian, as well as increased costs for businesses. However, those measures are beginning to bear fruit. At a time when interest rates are high, which normally means that businesses find it hard to borrow and invest, the economy is growing. People are finding sources of funding, sources of equity, including government putting in its own share of private public sector funding for infrastructure in particular, and that is helping to create jobs and grow the economy. But on the other hand, inflation, yes, it is high at 33.69%. Food inflation at 40.5% is worrisomely high. But the fact is that inflation is coming down month on month. It's down to about 2.3% month on month from nearly 3%. So it is slowing, and the will is expected to reduce as we have continued the dry season harvest, and then we go into the wet season harvest a lot, that is the place to focus on, and a lot of emphasis is being placed on there to get agricultural output up, to get prices down, and that will be a big factor in bringing down inflation. But also, in order to ameliorate the effect of the initial pain that high elevated indices, like you said, interest rates, exchange rate, and so forth would cause, there has been an intervention program. And the first was the keenest, that is direct payment to Nigerians. In all, 75 million Nigerians, effectively 15 million households, was the program that was laid out. And what had happened is that it had to be reset. We all saw and we all know the experience. So the 75,000 naira immediate payment to Nigerian households so that they can go to the market and buy as an immediate emergency measure stalled at first, and now it has been put on track and is expected to really yield dividends in terms of pushing out that
nuisance lele.
No doubt. Tinubu's economic handlers, they believe that it is an economic policy to borrow money and share the money to few people. Then they can begin to, they will then drop bogus numbers like 75 million Nigerians, 75 this, 15 million, like that. And that is an economic policy for them. It will yield results by giving Nigerians $20, $50 to start businesses. Hungry Nigerians, oh, they are being given 30,000, 50,000 naira to start business so that they can be lifted out of poverty. Or sharing money. You know what this guy did? Immediately, Omo better edu. Do you remember? Hi, that's Tinubu's Minister of Humanitarian Disaster, Poverty Development, and then disaster sustenance. That was a better edu, the one that used over 8 billion naira of public fund to, I mean, she gave that to her friends as consultant to help them consult the poorest people in Nigeria and develop a register for them that they will be given money from Tinubu to be lifted out of poverty. A lot of people are still waiting for that money. Unfortunately, before they could give anybody a dime, they gave themselves over 8 billion naira. And they called it setting up a register. Register, we no see. 8 billion, we no see. Better edu, we no see. We can't find these people or any of this stuff, right? But Wale Idun, what he did was that he has now moved the bazaar office, the ministry's juiciest agency. I'm talking about the ones that shares money. You remember Shadia, Bukwari's girlfriend, before he became impotent. You remember him? I mean, remember her? Yeah, that's the pioneer minister for humanitarian and poverty management and disaster sustenance. Okay, that was her. She was the woman who shared 500 billion naira to 11 million households in Nigeria without using a register in 2 days, 48 hours. Who can do that? That's Shadia. Of course, the money disappeared. Okay, so yeah. And that's exactly what Wale Idun is doing. He's now the one, okay, since the suspension or the hibernation of Omo Beta, Wale Idun, the finance minister of Nigeria, is now in charge of sharing money, like Pastor Ruga. Remember Pastor Ruga? Oshumbade, the Kenneth Shatabandu. your former vice president, Agbowori Babaoja. He had his name. He created this ministry. The ministry of using the poor people's name to rob Nigeria. You see, the money is meant to take Nigerians out of poverty. Unfortunately, that ministry has been taking the ministers out of poverty. It's like the ministers in charge of that ministry, they have always been poorer than the poor people that they were supposed to give money to. Because you know what? The money that is meant for the poor people ended in a private pocket of those who were supposed to share the money. So which means the ministry is there to maintain the poverty, but it was created